Guys, this is why you show up to these calls, because Christo just gave you a insurance sales 304 lesson on the high level stuff that you takes time to sort through and figure out. But if you're new on this call, watch this back when we push it out on YouTube, or watch it back after, and get these magic words that he's put together, which is why he's so good at what he does. Hi, everybody. Grady Polson. Welcome to the America Agency. Okay, so I want to get two things out of you before we close this out. One, I want to get some words. What are the magic words? What are the Bolgerisms? Honor your parents. What are the Bolgerisms? I think Bolger Financial would have has a good ring to it. What are the words you say to move clients forward? You're open first, 15, 30, 60, 90 seconds, take control on the call. And then I want you to talk about how you have such high persistency as an agency. What are some things you guys do internally that really kind of what you focus on, sales style, follow up, whatever you're doing there. So those kind of two big some points to give them as we wrap this up. But
for sure. So I think with sales and telesales specifically, Grady, if I go, say I don't have hand tattoos and stuff like that, and I go and meet with someone and you can't see any of my tattoos, I'm not wearing a hat, I'm wearing a button-up shirt, and I go meet with someone in person, I personally know from how I communicate and how I make people feel and the intentionality I have when I connect with people, that my close ratio would be extremely high if I'm meeting with people in person. And that's great. But guess what? I do not want to go drive around Phoenix and have to travel and go to different places where there, you know what I mean? I don't want to have to do that. So knowing that, just like knowing I was broke when I started in this and I was going to have to get creative, I know if I'm doing telesales, it all comes down to how I sound. So when I'm communicating right now, I know in my heart that I sound confident because I believe in every single effing thing that I'm saying right now, because I've lived it, I've walked it, I've gotten my teeth kicked in, and I've had the blessing of facing a lot of very difficult things in this business, and I've made it through it, whether it's sales stuff, business stuff, hiring stuff, all of the in between. Where when you have that confidence in your voice and you're talking to a client on the phone, I think if you sound 3, 4, 5 times more confident than somebody else, and you understand all the different ways that a call could go, and it's already programmed in your brain because you got the reps, you got your teeth kicked in, you've ran all sorts of different types of leads, and you've exposed yourself to a ton of feedback. Guess what? If I practice a script with you on this call, Grady, and I mess up, I don't care, because I produce results, and I can produce results for other people. If I'm having an off day and I'm practicing, dude, whatever, it's recorded, not a big deal. But my team and my people know that I walk the walk and I can talk the talk. And so I think when it comes down to magic words and magic stuff on the phones, I've developed a creativity because I called 9-month-old and 6-month-old leads for like the first year that I was here because I was broke. And so I can train people from all different categories of how to do that. I'm super used to hearing, yeah, Christo, stop calling me. I already got it taken care of. I'm like, perfect. That's exactly why I'm calling, Grady. It looks like your agent didn't update your file here, so I'm going to get this updated for you because you're probably sick of getting these phone calls. Is correct? Perfect. Okay, so just need to grab a couple things from you here just so I can close it out. Which one of our carriers did you end up going with? Oh, okay, you went with MetLife. All right, perfect. And then what was the monthly premium? And then last thing, what was the face amount of the policy? And I can get this closed out for you. Boom. Have all those things. Carrier, coverage, cost. I have what I need to potentially put someone in a better position if I'm going to do a policy flip. It works well in my brain. And if you listen, that wasn't my best example, but if you listen, I'm justifying how I'm about to do them a favor of closing their file out because their agent forgot to do it. And I'm going to provide them value with them not getting phone calls anymore. But hey, man, I got to grab a couple other things. And incrementally through the process where I'm like, hey, I'm grabbing this info. I know after the first or second thing I ask, they want to be like, why do you need all this? I'm justifying this is the last thing I got to add on, and then I can get it all closed out and submit this. Then I ask, okay, and what's the monthly premium? At that point, if I'm talking to a client and I'm scouring and checking our quote tool and I'm seeing, hey, Who can we put them with? All I'm doing at that point is I'm trying to put a client in a better position. And once you work in this business long enough and you have the opportunity or you have the kahunas to speak up enough and hold clients accountable, you will have an experience where you have a grandmother that is making $1,400 a month through Social Security income, and she's paying $250 for a life insurance policy, and you can get her the same policy and it's $150. You just saved her $100 a month and got her the same coverage, and she's like, wow. Or all sorts of different situations where you're
at all. They don't. They have it. They bought it at the bank. They've sent a card online, and they thought they bought it. They bought it, but they never got billed. Well, the bill hasn't come out. When there's all kinds of scenarios.
Colonial pins, stuff like that. Like when you get educated on these things, like when I got decent, and I'm never gonna say I'm good at anything, to be honest, except for messing my life up previously. But when I got good at this business is when I found myself, when everybody else I knew that was my age and making money and out at the club and doing X, Y, and Z, trying to look cool, I was checking carrier products. Hey, for MetLife, what does their coverage entail? Do they have double accidental included? All these different companies, I was getting educated on that because I understood for myself where I was missing out on the most money was when people told me I already got it taken care of. And I'm like, that is, if you can figure out how to handle those conversations and sink the hook. Hey, Grady, can I shoot straight with you for 30 seconds? Right? Like those things where you interrupt the pattern and you can know in your heart, like, I'm going to provide this person more value or I'm going to send them on their way. Or if you've practiced enough times and a client's like, I'm happy where I'm at. Grady, if I find out what carrier, the coverage amount, and the cost of your coverage, the ball's in my court how I want to communicate it. Why do some people make more money than other people? Well, because they capitalize on creativity and they practice that stuff so it comes out better. And I know we all know this, but it's like, I can say this 1,000 times. Are people watching this actually going to go practice it so they can increase their income 30% in a month? Because all those people that used to be like, I got it taken care of, take me off. You can get their information, close out their file. If you can't beat the price and put them in a better position, stop calling them. But for me, once I have that, I'm like, okay, Grady, I see why your file might still be open. Did they tell you that was like the best price available to you? Or did you recently have like a heart attack, stroke, cancer, something like that? No? Okay. Like at that point, all I'm going to try and do is build uncertainty with the client and get them like questioning, did I go with the best thing? And then I'm going to present them a better option, but I'm going to crunch the numbers before I even communicate it with them. That's why I kind of paused there for a second, because it's like, if you don't have the pathway wired in your brain and you don't practice this with people, you're going to sound funny on the phone. Like for me, I'm kicking it. I'm on the phone. I'm happy. I'm prepared for whatever objection the client's about to hit me with. But I got the Americo site pulled up and I'm like, 15,000 of coverage. Boom. I already know this. Yeah, Grady, I'm actually looking here. One of our top A-rated insurance companies, Americo, it looks like they're going to offer the same coverage that you already have, and it's going to be $15 a month cheaper. And they actually have the accelerated death benefit rider. Or what we can do for the same price you're already paying, we can get you an additional 12,000 of coverage. So would you rather save money every month, or would you rather have more coverage for your family left behind? And then I option close. I'm not just like, hey, I can save you money and I'm a broker. I'm like, did you want to save money, or do you want more coverage for the same price that you're paying?
Light bulb moment right there. That's so good, bro.
Well, and I think it's just having I'm definitely not smart, but like I'm passionate about this stuff and I get fired up about saving people money. But those are some of the quickest sales that you can have, because when you get good at that, anything else, that's the hardest thing in this business, is to do a policy flip that is correct and done the right way and putting someone in a good position and doing it in a one-call close and peaking the interest so that you can do it more often, because then you're saving America at that point.
Dude, I mean, no, 100%, right? They've already purchased insurance recently. And just so we're clear, like when you're looking to buy something, right, you're going to look at a few things. So the clients often fill out multiple leads requests or multiple websites. Then they get retargeted. Someone buys their data, whatever. Hey, Barry, we saw you were online looking at insurance. We're here to follow up, right? So clients are looking at multiple things. If they bought over here through a captive company and we can save them money, that's our job. Our job is to save them money or get them more coverage. And it's just a phenomenal angle. So, but just like you said, a policy flip, I like policy flip. It reminds me, like, it's just like, you know, I like how you coined that term. Because the hard part's already been done. They already established their beneficiaries. They've had a mental conversation about their budget. They might have already thought, can we afford this? Can we not afford this? What can we afford? And now you're coming and going, I've got past America, we've got 9 other carriers we can look at if that initial product is a guaranteed issue product, right? And which they may or not know because the agent that sold them didn't have their best interest. They were just trying to make a commission. And we're trying to give the absolute best product that will be there when that worst day comes.
Well, and here's an example too, is like Mutual of Omaha, who's a great company, they send out flyers in the mail to all these people. So agents will call them and they'll be like, I have a policy through Mutual of Omaha. And good agents are like, oh, I'm not going to try and flip that policy because it's Mutual of Omaha. They probably got it with us or whatever. I ask additional questions because I want to get clarity so that I know someone's in the best position. Hey, did you get that directly through Mutual of Omaha, or was it through like a licensed agent, broker? Do you remember? Oh, no, I got the thing in the mail and I called in, or I sent it back in and I got a policy. Oh, did they communicate that policy is a 2-year waiting period? It's a graded policy. They're like, yeah, I thought that's what every insurance policy has. I'm like, no, there's a difference between a 2-year waiting period and a contestability period. Every insurance, like, I'll educate them on that. And then they find out they just got a 2-year, they're perfectly healthy, and they got a policy through Mutual of Omaha that just automatically has a 2-year waiting period. And if they get it through us, there's no waiting period. And at that point, guess what? I'm putting the client in a better position so it's suitable to make that change. But once I figured that stuff out, it changed everything else. That when I sell, I don't sell a crazy amount because I have 28, I think now I have 30 direct agents or teams underneath me. And so like when I have an hour and a half to dial through the day, I'm selling as much as I can. But the confidence when you do, because you've been through those things and guided the people, and then you get the reward, the financial reward is great. But when you have a grandma that you know is like, yeah, I'm saving $150 a month, that gets me excited about what we do.
It's the best. Guys, this is why you show up to these calls. Because Christo just gave you a insurance sales 304 lesson on the high level stuff that you takes time to sort through and figure out. But if you're new on this call, watch this back when we push it out on YouTube, or watch it back after, and get these magic words that he's put together, which is why he's so good at what he does, dude. Any final things on sales, or you want to jump into persistency real quick?
Yeah, there's like a whole bunch of stuff I could say about that, but I think like everyone that's watching this, you have to expose yourself to getting your teeth kicked in. I'm not good. I've just gotten my teeth kicked in enough because I used to rip the phones 12 hours a day and call leads that the majority of them would not pick up because I knew they were aged, right? And I didn't have a crazy expectation, but I was willing to work. And the people that picked up because they were so old didn't know what I was calling about. So I had to get really good at reminding, and I don't want to say finesse, but like wiring the conversation to convince people that they actually did fill it out. This is what I'm trying to do. And I became a professional file closer. If you're a new agent, the more people you can have grab a pen and paper, the more at bats you're going to get. And if you know how to communicate on any level, you are going to make more money long term. So you guys are salespeople. The majority of people watching this are salespeople. My name is Christo Bolger. I am a professional file closer, and that's what I do for a living. Because the more files that you close, the more at bats you got, the more presentations you're going to get. If you have more presentations, you're probably going to close more sales.
Natasha, just put this in the boot camp because this was fantastic. This was a masterclass. Professional file closer. You're fantastic, bro.